Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome to Sew with Mediva. And if you're a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, thank you for sticking to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make this Maxi summer dress with side pocket. And you can see me wearing this dress in three different styles. I achieved this style using 3 yards of African print fabric. If this is something you are interested in, make sure to keep watching and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. So for this style, I made use of 3 yards of African print fabric, but you're going to need more than that if you want yours bigger than mine. I also have my elastic band here and my other materials. So we're going to be cutting the front and the back panels together, meaning I'm going to fold my fabric into 4. So since this dress is a long maxi dress and the length of my Ankara fabric is only 45 inches, I'll be cutting the length across the other side of my fabric. So let me explain what I mean. So the length of any Ankara fabric is usually 45 inches, which won't be enough for the length of my dress. So I'm going to be cutting it across the other side, which is going to give me the length I want. So the fabric is in a fold of 2 already, 3 yards in a fold of 2, and I'm going to further fold it into 4 this way. So go ahead to fold your fabric to get a fold of 4 like this, and make sure you arrange it very well. So after that, I'm going to determine how wide I want the lower part of my dress to be. So for mine, I'm going to be using 18 inches plus my seam allowance. So I'm going to just mark out 18 inches and cut out the excess fabric. So if you want your dress bigger than mine, you can use the full fold of the fabric, which is going to be around 23 inches. But for mine, I marked out 18 inches and I'm cutting out the excess. So I'll set the excess fabric aside. I'll be using it to create the straps for my dress. So right now I have my fabric in a fold of 4, as you can see. So the first thing we're going to do is to take out our elastic band casing. So I'm going to come down from the upper part of my fabric by 2 inches. So I'll come down by 2 inches. This is going to serve as the elastic casing for your dress, and then mark out a straight line. So this line is going to be our starting line. So to mark the full length of my dress, I'm going to place my tape rule 8 inches above this starting line. So from my shoulder to my chest line is 8 inches, and that is the point where I want my dress to start. To get your chest line, divide your round bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches to it. So for mine, from my shoulder to my chest line is 8 inches. So I'll place my tape rule 8 inches above the starting line and mark the full length of my dress, which is 59 inches, and this includes the folding allowance. So I'll mark it and then extend the lines this way, and then proceed to cut out the excess. So the base of my fabric, which is going to be the widest part of this dress, is 18 inches in a fold of 4, as you can see. So I'll come back now to the upper line, which is going to be the chest line, and then I'll mark my shoulder measurements divided by 2. Mine is 16 inches, and then I'll subtract 3 inches from it to make 13 inches. So I did that so that the upper part of the dress doesn't appear too big and so that it has a little bit of fitting. So I marked 13 inches for mine. So I'm going to take the 18 inches I have at the base of my dress. That's why I said you can decide to make the lower part of yours wider than mine. It's just a simple A-line style. So then I'll take my long ruler and connect from this chest line all the way to the full length, forming the A-line design. So after that, this is what we have. The next thing we want to do is to cut it out. So after cutting out, I'll just take 1 inch at the base and curve it in. So I'll notch the point where my elastic casing is going to stop. I'll make sure to notch on all fabrics and then open it up. So because of the way we folded our fabric, you have to rip the upper part open as well. The next thing we want to do is to join the two fabrics together. I'll place them right sides facing each other. I've gone ahead to mark the chest line on the wrong side, and then I'll take it to my machine and close up the sides using 1 inch. From the upper part, I'll go ahead to close it up all the way down. When I'm done with that, I'll repeat the same process on the other side. Use 1 inch to close up the sides. And then after closing up, I'll also finish up the base of my dress by folding in twice and stitching all around. So when I'm done with that, I'll show you guys. So after closing up the sides, this is what it looks like, and I've also finished the base just like I said earlier. The next thing we want to do is to fold in the elastic casing. So I'm going to first of all take half an inch and then take 1 inch, making sure it stops at that chest line directly. Take half an inch and then fold 1 inch to make sure it stops at the chest line, and then go ahead to pin it down. So you're going to fold the upper part of your fabric all around this way to create your elastic casing. So make sure you are folding up to the chest line just like I explained. So after folding and using my pins to secure it, I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch it all around. So I'll leave a space of 1 inch to pass in my elastic. After stitching all around, this is what we have. I went ahead to also iron it, and I left a space of 1 inch to pass my elastic band. So before we pass in the elastic, we're going to attach the strap. So I'll get the midpoint of this upper part, which is 12 inches. And on both sides of the line, I'm going to come out by 7 inches. So I marked 5 inches here, but I later corrected it to 7 inches because I didn't like the position of the rope. So I marked 7 inches on both sides of the line, and then I have my rope cut out already. I went ahead to fold it up. So the full length of this rope is 36 inches. You can decide to make yours longer than mine, just depends on what you want. And I have two pieces of it for the front. So I'm going to place my rope on the wrong side of my fabric this way, and then go ahead to pin it down. So when you're stitching this rope, you're going to stitch directly on that point that you have already stitched so that it doesn't interfere with your elastic casing. So go ahead to stitch on that point that has stitches already. This is for the front. I'm going to stitch it down, and then for the back, I maintained the same 5 inches from the center point. I didn't adjust it at all. So I'll place it on it this way, and then go ahead to stitch it on the part that already has a stitch. So I'll place it this way, I'll pin it down and stitch. So note that the rope on the back panels are shorter. I have about 18 inches for each rope here. So these ropes are going to help create the design you want for your dress. Any design you want for the dress, you can cross it over on each other this way. So when I'm done stitching, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So after stitching down the ropes, this is what we have. The next thing we want to do is to insert the elastic band. So to get the length of elastic band to cut out, I added 10 inches to my shoulder measurement. So my shoulder measurement is 16 inches plus 10 inches. That means I'll be having 26 inches length for my elastic band. So go ahead to use that method to cut out yours. So I'll get my pin now and just pass it in through one edge of my elastic, and then the space I left, the 1 inch gap I left, I'm going to pass in my pin with the elastic band through this channel. So keep passing the pin and the elastic all around till it comes out from where you started. So as you're passing, you can keep pulling your elastic band so that it goes in smoothly. So I'll go ahead now to pin the two elastics together and then adjust the elastic band very well into the channel. So after adjusting, I'll take this to my sewing machine now and then use my zigzag stitch to just join the two elastic bands together. Then after that, I'll close up the elastic casing on this side. So when I'm done with that, I'll show you guys. So guys, after passing the elastic band, this is what it looks like. So at this point, I have gone ahead to adjust the ropes. Like I said earlier, I did it for only the front panel. Instead of the 5 inches I marked, I made use of 7 inches from the center point. So the last and final thing we want to do is to work on the pocket. So my pocket is going to be directly on my hip line, and I'll be using a different color of fabric to create my pocket. So still placing my tape rule 8 inches above the starting line, I'm going to come down to my hip line, which is about 24.5 inches. So I'll go ahead to mark it and then mark it on the other side as well. So I've gone ahead to cut out my pocket, and this is what we have. So notice that you can make use of any size for your pocket. For mine, the fabric size I cut out is about 12 inches by 12 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is to fold in the edge of the fabric and stitch it all around. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side, and when I'm done, I'll fold in the upper part and stitch it down. So I'll be having elastic band at the upper part of my pocket. So I've gone ahead to stitch around the edge of the fabric like I explained. I have also fixed the elastic band for one of the pockets. So for the length, I just measured what I have here and I took out 3 inches from it. So I'll be using my pin to pass in the elastic just like we did with the dress. So when I get to this edge, I'll stitch it down and I'll also stitch on the other side. So to insert the pocket, I'm going to just get my dress this way, and from that point I marked, I'm going to get the midpoint of the pocket at the upper part and just mark it out. So I'll place the midpoint on the side joining of my dress. So when stitching the pocket, you don't need to pull the elastic like this, just leave it this way so that you get the desired shape that you want. So I'll use my pin now to pin it down. So remember, you are pinning to only one side of the fabric. So go ahead to pin it down, then I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'll open it up this way and then go ahead to stitch it all around it so that I can have my pocket. So after fixing, I'll show you guys. So I have fixed the pocket on my dress for both sides, and this is what it looks like. So let me quickly explain the 3 styles I used for my dress. So the first one is to cross the front ropes across each other this way, and then take it across your shoulder to the back. So you cross the ropes this way, this is the first style, and then take it over to the back across your neckline, and then you tie it to the shorter rope at the back. I hope you guys understand. For the second style, you tuck the back ropes inside your dress and then tie the front ropes across your neckline like a halter neck style. For the third style, you cross the 2 ropes to one side and then tie it to the back panel. So that is basically all on how to make this simple dress. So this is where I'll be ending this video for today. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.